Hello members, welcome in today's video, and today we're going to look at whole numbers. Remember in the previous video we saw what natural numbers are. So in today's video we're going to look at whole numbers. Remember here we learn English with E, so let's look at whole numbers. What are whole numbers? So whole numbers are all positive numbers including a zero. Once again, whole numbers refers to all positive numbers. With positive I mean they don't have a negative sign in them. So all positive numbers, including a zero, are whole numbers. So remember, natural numbers don't have a zero in them, but whole numbers start from a zero when you are counting. So all whole numbers can be all natural numbers with a zero and do not have any fraction or decimal points. With this, I mean fraction numbers like 1 of 2, 3 of 4, 5 of 6, and 7 of 10. These are what we call fractions. These are fractions. Decimal points, for example, you have a number like 3.5, 2.67, 8.34. So these are decimal numbers. Decimal numbers because they contain decimal points. But fractions, they contain these figures. So whole numbers don't have fractions and don't have decimal points in them. In other words, when we're writing whole numbers, we start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on up to infinity. So all positive numbers are whole numbers. When you're counting whole numbers, you start from 0. Are we together? Implying that all positive numbers are whole numbers. So let's see the uses of whole numbers. How do we use these whole numbers? Remember in the previous video we saw how we use natural numbers. Okay, so whole numbers, number one, they are used in counting objects. They are used in counting objects. For example, when you say 1 pen, 2 pencils, 4 baskets. So here we use whole numbers. You can see 4 baskets, 2 pencils, 1 pen. So whole numbers are used when we are counting items. Also whole numbers are used in measurements. Whole numbers, we use them in measurements. For example, in measuring the length of a wall. For example, you get 20 centimeters. So they are used in measurements. So whole numbers, we use them in measurements. We also use these whole numbers in sports and games. We also use these whole numbers in sports and games. For example, when taking scores, for example, we won 2 games by 1. So they are used in sports and games when taking scores. They are also used when giving player numbers. For instance, goalkeeper can be given a number like 0. Midfielder can be given a number like 6, 10, 11, and so on and so forth. So they are used when giving player numbers. All these, they are used in sports. Also whole numbers are used when taking rankings. How teams have performed. So you're ranking the teams in their performance. In mathematical calculations. In mathematical calculations, for example, in addition, and you can say 4 plus 3 equals 4 plus 3 equals what? 7, of course. In subtraction, if you say 4 minus 2, you get a 2. And in multiplication, all these are mathematical calculations. Multiplication, for example, you have 1 times 4, the answer is 4. And division, when you say 4 divided by 4, and you get 1. So all these are mathematical calculations. In other words, whole numbers, you're going to have an example. You can have 1, rather start from 0. So whole numbers, you can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to infinity, and all positive numbers. You can also have a number like 4, 2, 3, 100, 10, 20, 5, and so on and so forth. So those are the uses of whole numbers. Hope you've got something. Let's meet up in the next video.